Hi, Julie Watts here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So we're continuing with our stencil techniques and building on the technique that I've shown you over the past 2 days. So yesterday I mentioned maybe changing it up a little bit, mixing Gilding Flakes with texture medium and maybe adding something else. So I've shown you the technique on black card, and then yesterday I showed you the technique on white card. We're on white card again, but I'm going to add something to it. So in case you haven't seen it, we're going to start from the beginning. This is a different stencil again, just mixing up the stencils. This is a Fairy Hug stencil and it's called Fairy Hug Swirls, which you'll find on my website for shipping to UK addresses in the Fairy Hugs section. If you're outside the UK, you can find it at fairyhugs.com for worldwide shipping. So let's get our texture paste all mixed. Now this texture medium, as we're calling it, so it's like a gel medium, so you can use it as a glue as well. This has got quite a lot of open areas, so I think we will need quite a bit of this. Let's go for that. If it doesn't fill it all, it's fine, it's not a problem. So as always, I can't stress this enough, clean around the top of your pot so that you can take the lid off next time you want to use it. And as before, fast forward this bit if you don't want to watch this bit. We're going to mix in some of the Copper Teal Gilding Flakes from Cosmic Shimmer, which are my favourite, and we're breaking them up a little bit. It's got beautiful copper and teal tones in it, so it's got copper, it's got teal, and it's also got gold in here as well. Might even be a little bit of silver going on as well. And as I've said before, the dust that you get once you've used this rub it scrub it is great for this technique. So you know, you could start yourself a pot off with all those little tiny bits. Trying to break it up a little bit. I'm not going to put as much flake in it as I did, she says, going into the tub and getting some more out. Don't laugh, don't breathe, don't sneeze. Whatever you do, don't sneeze anywhere near Gilding Flakes. I remember years ago my friend Sue Wilson said that she'd love to be stood out in a field somewhere and somebody put one of those blowers on her and she was holding Gilding Flakes just to see how far they'd go. I think that'd be really good fun. Right, that'll do. Put the lid on. Now we're going to mix this in. Now the texture medium is it's white when it's wet and it is clear when it's dry. So currently everything you see that's white will be clear. Currently, I say currently because we're going to change it because we can. It's all about playing. You learn from play as a child, and it's very valuable as an adult to learn through play as well, especially with craft. So let's pop this on. I'm not using the woodware scraper, as I said before. I'm not using it because I think it will move the flakes around where I don't want them. You can try it, but I'm using just a spreader. Let's just get it all on. It does, depending on the weather, it can dry quite quickly, so you don't want to have it hanging around on your stencil for too long. Try not to dig in. Think about buttering toast. Obviously, if you like your butter thick on your toast, then you might want to go a bit thinner. Actually, that's not taken as much as I thought it would. It always surprises me. I don't want to waste that though, so we'll put it on thicker in some areas. Give it a bit of a... There we go. Okay, so that's all covered. Don't want to waste it. Step away from the stencil, Julia. Then we're going to add some Pixie Powders. Now this is an old tub. I've had this since Pixie Powders launched donkeys years ago. They come in little round tubs now, but this is Peacock Green. And Pixie Powder is a mix of, you can see it already on there, it's a mix of dye and pigment and mica powder. and I'm sure you can see as it's hitting the texture medium, it's the colours kind of bursting out a wee bit, and it will continue to do that while the texture medium dries, and it will be bonded into the texture medium. So that's going to give us a totally different look to the look that we had just with the Gilding Flakes. I don't want to cover up all the Gilding Flakes, but you know, you could put more than one colour in. I have to be careful with this tub because they changed the tubs because this actually puts more powder on than you actually need. But you can paint with them. There's so many different techniques that you can do with Pixie Powders. I think I had about 40 techniques when I was demonstrating them years ago. Maybe I should do those again if I can find the list. Okay. Let's peel this away. Remember, it's not dry yet, so I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's dry. And I can show you all three of my backgrounds, which have got virtually the same technique. You know, it just changes it slightly. If you change the ingredients of it, it's going to change slightly. We are going to do something else to get another, at least one more print from it. We might get more than one. So obviously, as this pulls up, it's going to grab some of the Gilding Flakes and you're going to get a few peaks. But that's what it looks like at the moment. As I said, Peacock Green will move around a wee bit. It's really cool, isn't it? Imagine that on black card too, because the Pixie Powders will show up on black card. Okay, so Pixie Powders, they are pixies. So what we can do is bring in another piece of card, go in the gap there, my mess, and I'm just away from you, I'm just misting the stencil with water. And I'm going to come back to the card and I'm going to turn the stencil over to see if we can get a print. And get some kitchen roll. Might not be very good, but you know, it's a background, it doesn't matter. It can be the start of a background, it doesn't have to be the finish of a background. This away. That's rather lovely. I like that. Look at that. It's got lots of texture to it from the Gilding Flakes. Loving that. And I wonder if we can get one more. We might be able to. I'm just going to give it another little mist of water away from the camera. And this time we're going to come in the gap again. And we're going to pop this down this way. So this is wet side up. And we're going to bring our stencil brush in. And we're going to do some swirlies. So this is mainly, I'm going to pick up that as well. It is mainly going to pick up the Pixie Powders. You can see how intense the Pixie Powders are. There's not a lot of Gilding Flakes left on here. There's not a lot of texture medium left on here either, because we've lifted a lot of it off with the previous print. But you can see, because of the high intensity of the dye powder that's in the Pixies, we're getting loads and loads of the green colour coming out. And this is free. I love the fact that it's free. And as I said before many times, it doesn't have to be the be all and end all. It can be a start of a background. You can die cut these so they don't have to be as is. You can do the Jacob's coat technique on the top. We'll perhaps do that at some point. I think I've got a video with that on anyway. I might not have it on just on its own, so I might need to pull that out and do that technique on its own. So let's pull this away. And now we've got that. So we've managed to get 3 backgrounds out, and this will dry with a little bit of shimmer on it because of the mica that's in the Pixie Powders. So I'll come back and I will show you all 3 dry, and then I'll also show you the comparisons against the techniques I've shown you on the last 3 days. So I'll see you in a minute. my backgrounds are all dry now, and you can see that how the Pixie Powder has wicked out, and it's covered most of the area which would have been clear, and you can really see that stencil design. And you've got those flakes which are giving you a bit of dimension as well, because you've got the raised areas where I lifted it out, which is quite cool. And it's a glossy finish to it. Really pretty background. So that was the original one. Then this is the print. So this is where I misted the stencil with water and turned it face side down, and you can see some of the glossy texture medium on there, and it's left a lot of the remaining flake behind. Might not be 100% your cup of tea, but you know, if you actually die cut that's going to make some really nice, especially leaves. I think it's going to make some really nice die cuts. And then this was getting rid of the rest of the waste, so misting the stencil with some more water and popping it sort of ink side up, wet side up, and then with a stencil brush taking it through. So we've got a bit of a shimmer to that. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bit of a shimmer from the mica. See if I can catch it. There we go. And so those are our 3 backgrounds from that. And just to recap what you've seen over the last 3 days, this was the first one with the fairy bubble stencil and just the texture medium with the Gilding Flakes on black card. Then there was the one from yesterday, which is the texture medium through the wired up stencil from Sentimentally Yours. And you can see where where some of the Gilding Flakes have wicked out, and you've got a patina kind of effect going on. That's that one. And then of course you got the one with the Pixie Powders. So you've got 3 different ways to virtually do the same kind of technique. I hope you've enjoyed it. As I said, you find everything over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, for shipping to UK addresses. You'll also find the Sentimentally Yours stencils over at Honeypot Crafts, and you'll find the Fairy Hug stencils over at fairyhugs.com. Do like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. I love to see you leaving comments on there, and hopefully you're enjoying the videos. There are over 100 videos on there now. And thank you for watching.